Tomorrow, Mercury goes into retrograde. And what that means is the planet of communication, the planet of technology. This planet is going backwards, okay? And when that happens, it forces us to be retrospective. It forces us to look at things in our past that need to be changed, evolved, that we need to grow through, that we need to actually transform. And so the reading for today is about what is this specific Mercury retrograde asking of us? This Mercury retrograde, what is it asking us to heal, to transform, to redo, to rewrite in order for us to align more fully with who we are called to be? So first card we're going to look at is, what is the overall theme? Oh, we got one of Mercury retrograde. Wow. This Mercury retrograde is actually going to be showing us our thoughts and our feelings around our abundance and our fortune and our manifestations. This Mercury retrograde is going to be giving us the answers and the understanding of how our past has impacted our money. And as we go through the rest of the cards today, we will see how we are to use this energy in order to create more abundance, more fortune, and more alignment in our lives. Wow, we got 3 more cards. We got change that just came out, and these represent the overall theme of this Mercury retrograde. And we have friendship. And what I'm picking up on is that, one, we are going to be learning, changing how we relate with our friends. But also we're changing and aligning with how we can be a better friend to ourselves. This Mercury retrograde is asking us to understand the ways in which we can grow in our interpersonal relationships. Here's why. A lot of the abundance and the fortune, we got this abundance card, right? A lot of the abundance and the fortune that we desire comes through our connections to others, right? You got that one friend that work at that specific company that makes that reference for you, and now you were able to get that job. Or you have that family member that owns a specific business, and now they need your support in that business, and now they want to bring you on to their staff, right? Our relationships with people either can support our growth and our expansion and our money, or it can actually take away from it. So this Mercury retrograde is going to be asking us to reflect on how we've been relating to others, how we relate to ourselves, and the impact that has on our ability to attract limitless abundance. Because we are limitless beings, and we can manifest whatever it is that we desire in this physical reality. But if we are not being a good friend to ourselves first and foremost, and if we don't know how to cultivate healthy relationships with others, then that abundance can sometimes be stopped or slowed down or not as fruitful as it is meant to be. Wow. Love that. Let's see how we are to shift and change our relationship to ourselves and our relationship to others during this Mercury retrograde. All right, we got the law of emergent evolution. The law of emergent evolution. What this energy is saying is that this Mercury retrograde is calling us to make a new declaration for our lives and for our relationships. It is asking us to actually evolve beyond who we have been used to being in our connections. It's asking us to start affirming that our relationships are fruitful. Too many times we're focused on the lack of reciprocation, the lack of abundance, the lack of fruitfulness within our connections. And what we focus on, that actually grows. So this Mercury retrograde, partnered with, of course, the divine, is asking us to make a new declaration, to declare something else, to say that our relationships are fruitful, are abundant, are manifesting, but also to affirm that how we treat ourselves, the changes, the growth, the expansion that we are doing within ourselves as sovereign divine beings, that is adding to our abundance and to our fortune. Wow, I love that. For this Mercury retrograde, any lies or any stories you've been telling yourself, Spirit is like, it's time to tell a new story. And one of the things that we can do is write out the new story. Actually, write out the new declaration, right? What are you affirming? So, some of you may have been telling yourself, oh, it's hard to make money, or I can only make money in this way, or I'm not connected to people who are abundant, or I'm the most fruitful or abundant person in my life. You may feel like there's nobody around you who you can look up to or admire for how they manage their abundance and their fortune. You may feel like most of the people around you are existing in a persistent state of lack. Spirit is saying it's time for you to declare something else, even for the people around you. Start to affirm that the people around you are abundant and prosperous, and they actually have something to give and offer beyond just communication, beyond just camaraderie. They have something that really adds a fruitfulness to your life. And I'm using the word fruitful a lot. So this Mercury retrograde is going to be actually giving us an overflow. I see it as like an apple tree or a lemon tree or these natural trees, plants, whatever, that have an abundance of fruit on them. Okay. But number one, in order to receive this through the lessons of Mercury retrograde, we have to shift, rewrite, and rearrange how we perceive our relationships, how we connect to others. Some of you are going to actually be changing some of your relationships with people who have been leeches. You've been knowing it for a long time that these people, you give and you give and you give, and they don't actually use what you give. They don't grow and expand beyond what you've offered. And so the offerings have been more depleting rather than replenishing. And so that is a change or a shift that will be made in some of you guys' relationships. And you're not doing that out of spite or out of anger. You're doing that because you're being a better friend to yourself. You're changing how you relate and connect to yourself. And you're actually pouring into the relationships that do serve your highest good, whether it is through love, whether it is through opportunities that you get through those connections, right? Whether it is through networking, right? You're getting the opportunity to reconnect or to connect with people that support your limitlessness. Wow. The other card that came out says the law of vibration. The law of vibration. Let me see if I can get it to focus. There we go. And we see again butterflies. Both of these images have butterflies in them. Yes, both of them have butterflies in them. So what we are actually talking about is transformation. This Mercury retrograde is going to be really changing us holistically and vibrationally. After this Mercury retrograde and going into the spring equinox, you're going to be showing up different. And because you're showing up different vibrationally, because you've made a new declaration for your life, because you've become a better friend to yourself, and you've shifted some of the relationships that have been depleting, and you began to honor the relationships that have poured into you, that have nurtured in you, because you've shifted your perspective. Now you're actually able to connect with even more people that support your highest good. It's like you walk into stores, you go into work, and just new opportunities or different people are just coming up to you randomly, right? It's like these people can see the change. They can see the shift. They can see your vibration. And because they can see it, they want to engage with it. But this Mercury retrograde says, but there's something that you got to change pertaining to friendship, pertaining to connection. And so as we go through this cycle, really reflect on how your relationships have been. Do you feel drained after talking to a certain person? Or do you feel uplifted? If you have a friend or relationship that really nourishes you and uplifts you, this Mercury retrograde is asking you to declare that verbally, physically, through your actions. This Mercury retrograde is asking you to show that connection of that person, love and appreciation. Maybe in the past you hadn't done this. It's okay to start doing it now and let this be a part of your new way of connecting with other people. All right. What else is this Mercury retrograde teaching us? Oh, okay. Victory and success. Victory and success. You're going to be on the mountaintop after this Mercury retrograde ends. You're going to be like, I succeeded. You did not let your relationships take you out of the evolution and the vibrational shifts and changes that the Most High is actually asking of you right now. A lot of you are going to be changing how you connect to your partner, your divine counterpart. Spirit is asking you to make a new declaration to that union, right? For some of you, that new declaration is going to be, I'm choosing myself. I'm no longer going to let you drain, deplete, or weigh me down. And so I surrender that connection. But others of you are going to recognize the power and the abundance in your union, and you're going to become intentional about exploring that. And so what that looks like is maybe you're going to be going into a business partnership with somebody who you are related to or connected to. Maybe you and your partner actually create a business together. Maybe you and your partner start to venture into new things. Maybe your partner, for some of you, your partner is going to be asking you to stop working. Your partner is going to be asking you to focus on the things that you love, focus on the things that bring you joy, passion, because as you follow your passion, as you follow your pleasure, more abundance happens. Some of you are actually going to have friends that want to bring you in on their business, or you may be the person that is bringing a friend into your business, and you have the capacity to pay them to a certain amount, right? Okay, let's see what will be the gifts of this Mercury retrograde. What is the gifts? We got the Cougar card that came out, and this says, after this Mercury retrograde season and during it, you are going to be learning how to be more assertive, how to be more consistent and more disciplined in owning the power that you have that actually manifests the abundance that you desire. You're going to be more assertive in those relationships. That's one of the things that's going to be changing. Instead of being passive, instead of taking a step back, that's a whole nother topic. We'll get to that another day. You are going to be just assertive in who you are as a leader and as a sovereign being. For some of you in the past, you haven't been that. And that is what you're rewriting. You're rewriting this belief that as a woman, it is scary to take the lead, or as a woman, if you are being assertive, then that means you're a bitch, or that makes you unlikable. This Mercury retrograde is asking you to evolve beyond that, to vibrate higher, to be a better friend to yourself. If you're being assertive and you're standing in your power and standing in your truth and what you know the Most High has called you to do and be, all is well. All is well. You know where you have to go and who it is you're being asked to be. So this Mercury retrograde is going to be shining a brighter light on that, and it's going to call you to step forward, to step in it, to own it, and to be who it is you're meant to be right now. The other card that we came out with is Grace. We got the Swan. This Mercury retrograde is actually going to be teaching you to be more graceful with yourself, which will support you in being more graceful with others, which will help in manifesting more abundance and fortune, right? There's a certain energy, a certain presence that you bring after this season that is shifting you, awakening you, and allowing you to actually be in spaces to receive the support that you need. But you got to be graceful, right? You can't be abrasive, right? Assertiveness is not abrasiveness. Assertiveness is I'm standing firm in my truth and in my knowing, right? Some of you have had relationships that have made you question what it is you know. And this Mercury retrograde is saying we're rewriting that narrative. We're no longer questioning what it is we know, who it is we are being called to be. We're allowing ourselves to grow, to transform, and to evolve, right? But from a place of knowing, from a place of understanding that we are evolving into something better. And so this Mercury retrograde is an invitation to look at the ways where you may have been passive, to look at the ways where you may have not been graceful, compassionate, understanding with yourself and others. That may be one of the aspects of your relationships that has caused some friction and some lack. Understand that abundance comes in so many different forms. It comes as money, it comes as love, it comes as creativity. But in this retrograde season, you're recognizing your limitlessness by looking back on who you've been in the past. This Mercury retrograde is asking us all to heal our connection with ourselves, to be a better friend to ourselves and a better friend to others. And sometimes that means making a new declaration that you will not settle for certain things. You won't settle for certain behaviors from yourself or others. You are releasing anything that causes you to vibrate low. The faster you vibrate, the more magnetized you are to all of the positivity, all of the abundance, and all of the potential that the Most High has in store for you now. All right. Peace and love, family. Listen to this video as many times as you need to as we're going through the Mercury retrograde, so that when we enter the spring equinox, which literally happens around the same time that this Mercury retrograde ends, you're going to be blooming and blossoming into more abundance, more fortune, into just a greater version of yourself. Peace.